Good evening. Welcome to Think on These Things, ATL. Hi, I'm B, your host. Just wanted to come on and rap with you, see how everybody is today. Things are well with me. And I just wanted to say, I love you. If no one has told you today, I'm telling you, I love you. Very good. Very good. So, just a couple things, that kind of I wanted to rap about. The Lord is always speaking and He's always downloading, things as your day goes on. If, like we said, if you have ears to hear, that things are happening in the spirit and the word of the Lord will come into your heart to tell you what's going on, and how he sees things, not how we see things, but how he sees things. Okay, so once again, I still got my work clothes on, and so this was so important to me, and it was just so profound. Everything about the Lord is profound, but it was just like, wow, Lord. So I was at work. It's the end of my shift coming up, and so the floor was kind of a mess, and so I'm going to sweep the floor. So I began to sweep the floor. And as I was sweeping the floor and gathering, trash as you do when you sweep, I came across this lady, and my trash was sitting there, and I was coming down to meet it because I was sweeping another aisle. And so she was older than I was. And so she didn't acknowledge me sweeping the floor. She didn't say excuse me or nothing. She walked through the trash and as well in front of me, and I was like, excuse me. And she never opened her mouth. And I thought, wow, Lord, that's not right. Okay. So I go on a little further and I have my pal in another spot and I'm meeting it again. And a young man in his 20s came through and came right through my trash. And I'm like, okay, so surely they see the trash because, it's a pile of stuff that I have gathered from the floor. And so I said, wow, what's wrong? What's the issue here? And it's not an issue of flesh. It's not an issue of people not knowing any better or any of that. It's a soul issue. It's an issue in people's soul that righteousness is not in their soul. So what I'm expecting, I shouldn't because they don't have it. Okay. And we know that the word of the Lord is written for his people. And so to be wise, you can't always apply the word of the Lord to the people, but the word of the Lord still applies. And so that wisdom is for yourself. So, I'm saying, okay, Lord, I'm so glad that you are the Lord because I tell you, I could not, with myself or any other people, I could not be the Lord that you are, and how gracious you are, and how good you are, and merciful you are, because it's just like, what is wrong with people? And, the word of the Lord, of course, come to me as the Lord repented that he even created man, that he even made man, because he said his thoughts are continuously evil. And it is. It's always about themselves. It's never about anyone else or any of that. So that word came to me as I encountered these things with these people, is that the Lord repented himself for creating man. So surely we as human beings, we're going to get on each other's nerves because we have flesh, but the bigger picture is the spiritual application of the word of the Lord that applies to us. as a human race, as people, not just Christians, but as people. And so I went on and I was like, yeah, Lord, yeah, I see why you repented, because we are quite the work, okay? And so that being said, another thought came to me as well, and I want to make a disclaimer before I make this comment, because I know people gonna want to come at me, but don't come at me because ain't no reason to. I'm just speaking truth. Because of where we are and what has happened in this country, and we have allowed so many people in. I'm not prejudiced in no kind of way, and I believe everybody should live comfortable and a life that is deemed to them. I have no problem with that. The issue that I have is that, as the word of the Lord told the children of Israel, if there come people that want to sojourn with you, want to live with you, they have to obey the laws that God set for his people. They have to believe in your Lord. And if they can't, then they can't dwell with you. As well as he kept telling his children, when I take you into this land, don't act like these people act, okay? Because it's abominable to the Lord, some of the things that cultures do, okay? It's just plain and simple. It's just the truth. No matter if we like it or not, or if we agree with it or not, the Lord didn't ask you. He didn't ask me or nobody else what we thought about his word and about his ordinances and his principles, because they're his. And he saw none greater, so he swore by himself. He said if he was hungry, he wouldn't tell you. Because what can you give the Lord? You can only give him what he expects of you, and that is yourself. But you can't give him no money, you can't give him none of those things matter to the Lord. And so we have all these different cultures that America has said, come on, bring your ways, and we'll adapt to them. Well, the wisdom of the Lord wasn't good enough for them, that they decided, okay, we're going to let man come bring their many gods and whatever they worship and whatever they believe, we're going to adapt to it and let them do whatever they want to do in our country. That's not wise, because here we have so much conflict and so many different things that people believe that, it causes for strife, and it causes for whoring, as the Lord said. Your heart won't be no more perfect with the Lord, because all of these things you have adapted, because the country said, okay, you got to do this. You got to accept this because we have ordained for it to be. Well, you're not the Lord, first of all. And I may get in trouble for it, and that's okay, because my Lord got me. And it's just the plain truth. It's simple, and it's just the truth. It's nothing against people. The Lord said people in regions and places for a reason. And he confused the language when they tried to build that Tower of Babel because of the evilness of man. And so here we got all these different cultures, and they come with their own ways and the way they do things. I mean, from hygiene to whatever, you name it. Okay. And so it's just not wise. It's just not wise. And our country is doing it for money. That's it. Just money. It's just greed. And we got everything, nothing being made in America hardly anymore, and of all the cultures, the American people are the ones that suffer the most. Because from where our country was to where it is now, even someone that don't know can see the decline, because America was the superpower. But we have allowed so many things to where we've lost ourselves as a country. Okay, not as a people, because that ain't no. But we've the country has sold Americans out. We can go from Social Security to all kind of thing. Our seniors are still yet working, and it should not be. I have a man at my job. He's 74 years old, and he's a cashier because he has to make ends meet in order for him to live. That ain't right. That ain't right. And then, again, the cultures that come over here, they bring their parents and their people, and they do nothing but watch their grandchildren and help raise them, where ours is going to work and doing labor like a 16-year-old. It's not right. But as the children of Israel did, as mankind has done, we don't want the Lord to be our Lord. We want man to be over us. Well, you have had man over you. You have chosen your own presidents, so to speak. Ain't nothing but kings. So you have allowed all of that. The Lord has allowed you to do those things. And this is where we're at. And I don't went a little further than I should have. My time is up. But I just, you examine yourself. See if you be in the faith. See if these things don't stir up the spirit man in you when you see them and the word of the Lord come into your heart. Again, this is Think on These Things. My name is B, and I love you. Be blessed.